discuss the things related to the personal taxation. So when we are calculating the payable tax of a person, let's say A is payable income taxes for the year of assessment. Here we are going to discuss 2020-21 because we are discussing the 2019-20 now meaningless. Okay. As you all aware, we know that we are having basically 4 main sources of income when it's become an individual. Here, before going to the sum, I am going to summarize everything. Okay, so it will be benefited to you. One source is employment income. Employment income. Then business income or business profit. Business income or business profit. Then investment income. I am not going to ask from you because all these things I discuss, especially to KGOL students, you cannot say. Okay, these are new to you because I discussed with you. Some of the Kendi students also joined with me too, and commonly all the things available in our LMS. Okay, investment income. Then in some cases we can have other income too, but as I told to you again and again, when it's become the act being defined specifically what are the other sources. Okay, so in most cases you may not having this source in your sum. Okay, then total of this, then seva niyukta adayam, vyaparika adayam, ayojana adayam saha වෙනත් ආදායම් අපි දැන් එක එක schedules වලින් calculate කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ schedule එකෙන් calculate කරන හැටි අපි වෙන වෙනම කතා කරා. Recordings also available. We discuss how to calculate employment income separately, how to calculate income business income separately, and how to calculate investment income, how to calculate what are the basics, what are the things available in the act. All these things we discuss. Okay, if you go through the recordings, you can identify those. No need to go through the actual recordings, just go through the sums which we did. Data නිකන් නාස්ති කරගන්න ඕනේ recordings බලන්න කියලා ඔයාලා නිකම්ම අපි හදපු ගණන් බලන්න ගණන් ටික තියෙන නිසා. Okay, නැත්තම් කරපු කෙනෙක්ගෙන් ඉල්ල ගන්න. Now then total of these we known as assessable income. Assessable income. In Sinhala we can say takseru kala හැකි ආදායම. Assessable income, total assessable income. Then here we are calculating income tax payable. Okay, or otherwise payable income taxes. Then from this we need to deduct something. We need to deduct something. Now let's see what are the things which we are going to deduct. First thing is when it's become a person. When it's become a person, okay, tax-free allowance, personal tax-free allowance. Message me. What you think? What you remind? කොහොමද මතක? tax-free allowance එක පුද්ගල ආදායම බදු නිදහස් වීම 2020-21 tax-සේරු වර්ෂයට අදාළව අපි හදපු ගණන් වල කොහොමද හැදුවේ? කීයක්ද? What about the sum? Amount. Tax-free allowance. Tax-free allowance. It's 3 million. Keep in mind. Tax-free allowance 3 million. Yes, it's 3 million. So from here we need to deduct 3 million. I am writing the answers without considering last 3 zeros. Okay. Tax-free allowance 3 million, keep in mind. Okay, good. Then in additionally we can deduct when if we are having any rent income. Okay, if we are having any rent income, we can deduct 25% from rent income, 25% from X rent income. අපිට 125ක් අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන් rent income එකෙන්. නමුත් එතනදි මතක තියාගන්න එතනදි කොන්දේසියක් තියෙනවා. එක්කෝ අපිට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි මෙතනදි කතා කරනවා මේ ආදායම් බදු ගණනය කිරීමේදී ආදායම් වලින් වියදම් අඩු කරන්න දෙන්නේ ව්‍යාපාරික ආදායම් වලදී විතරයි. ව්‍යාපාරික ආදායම් වලදී විතරයි. දැන් සේවා නියුක්ත ආදායම ගණනය කිරීමේදී සේවා නියුක්ත ආදායම උත්පාදනය කරද්දී අපි වැය කරපු වියදම් අඩු කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. When it's become these calculations, only in case of business income we can deduct the particular expenses. Okay, in other cases we cannot deduct the expenses. Okay, then only the revenue part we are considering to calculate the taxes. But in case of here, under these qualifying payments for these deductions, we can say let's say qualifying payments and reliefs.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, මේ screen එකේ මොනවා හරි ලියනවද?
Oh.
Sir, අපිට පේන්නේ නෑනේ.
Today everyone cannot see.
Yes, sir.
What about now?
හරි sir, දැන් පේනවා.
අප්පට. හරි. දැන් බලන්න. දැන් මම ආයෙත් එහෙනම් කියාගෙන යන්නම් ඈ. දැන් ඔයාලා නෝට් කරගෙන මම මේ ෂෙයා කරන්නම් කොහොමද? මේ ડોකියුමන්ට් එක මම ලියන ડોකියුමන්ට් එක ෂෙයා කරන්න. Okay. So here I am going to calculate age payable income taxes for the year of assessment 2020-21. Okay, first we need to calculate the assessable income. Assessable income in the sense total of employment income, business income, and investment income and other income. Here, as I explained to you, when it's become other income, the act not much specifically explained about other income, so we can predict that in your case we may not have this type of source. Okay, so then when it's become as we are calculating the tax payables from an individual, then we need to deduct the qualifying payments and other reliefs. Here we are deducting qualifying payments and other reliefs. In case of qualifying payments and other reliefs, first of all we need to deduct personal tax free allowance. Pudgala badu nidahas wim, as you discuss, it's 3 million. As we discuss it, 3 million. Then 25% from rent income we have to deduct. In that case, what I was explaining is, in other sources other than the business income, we cannot deduct the expenses. Only we have to identify the revenue. Only in case of business income, we are identifying the taxable profit. අපි profit එකක් අඳුරගන්න business income එකේදී විතර අනිත් ඒවාට අඩු කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් ඔතන investment income යටතේ එන rent income. Investment in normally rent income coming under investment income. In that case, Act is saying that two options have been given to the taxpayers. One is we can deduct the actual expenses which we incur, that means maintenance and such a things we can deduct. Okay. Other option is we can deduct as a qualifying payments. Okay. 25% of a rent income. We can go for one option. අපිට එක ඔප්ෂන් එකකට යනවා. එක්ක සත්‍ය වේදන් අඩු කරනවා, අනිත් එක 125 අඩු කරනවා. මගේ I recommend basically people who are working in audit firms also may aware, basically this 25% normally they are taking. In some මේක 125 අඩු කරන එකට ඔයාලා පුරුදු වෙන්න. Okay, just going through. Okay, then in 2021 they introduced a new concept that is known as expenditure relief. වියදම් සහනයක් දුන්නා. මේ 2021 දී ආපු එකක්. I will show that part. වියදම් සහනය සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරලෙමු. Hope now you can see my screen. දැන් ඔයාලට මගේ screen එක පේනවා කියලා මම හිතනවා. පේන්නේ නැත්නම් කියන්න. Now can you see? This is the special relief for expenditure. Special relief for expenditure. Hope you can see my screen now. Are you clear? Okay. This is that. This is the point. මේක තමයි මම කියපු point එක. What is that? Special relief. Special relief up to 1.2 million. That means maximum relief, expenditure relief we can get is 1.2 million. අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් ලොකුම අගය තමයි 1.2 million. මේකට එහා පැත්තට යන්න බෑ. එහෙනම් පුද්ගලයෙක් ආදායම් පදු ගෙවනකොට එයාගේ tax schedule එකේදී අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන් ඔය 1.2 million තියෙන එක විතරයි. වෙන කියන්නේ maximum යන්න පුළුවන් 1.2 million. Okay, that is the one. Then special relief up to 1.2 million on specific following. These are the expenditures. ඔයාලා මේ ටික මතක තියාගත යුතුයි. Okay, health expenditure including the contributions to medical insurance. Health expenditures, if you let's say in your case you are going to pay taxes, then under this relief, if you have done a certain expenditure on your health, or otherwise if you have do some payments for the private hospitals in your in case of taking medicines or something, you can deduct that one, including contributions to medical insurance. Okay, this one. Education expenditure incurred locally for such individual or on behalf of his children. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ හෝ ඔයාගේ දරුවන්ගේ අධ්‍යාපනය සම්බන්ධයෙන් දරන වියදම්. Okay, you need to prove those. Okay, interest paid on housing loan. Housing loan කරගෙන තියෙනවා නම් ඒ housing loan වලට ගෙවන පොලිය. Contribution made to approved pension plan. Pension plan වලට කරන contributions. Expenditure incurred for the purchase of equity or securities. කොටස් මිලදී ගැනීම වෙනුවෙන් දරන වියදම්. ඔය වියදම් දරලා තියෙනවා නම් අර expenditure relief යටතේ ඒ වියදම් ටික අඩු කරන්න ඉඩ දෙනවා. But maximum limit is 1.2 million. Okay, maximum limit is 1.2 million. I will share these slides. Okay. Then that is the expenditure relief. Then after deducting all these things, you can take taxable total taxable income. Total taxable income. Okay, then as we are here, as we are calculating the, hope you can see my screen. Mage screen එක පේන්නේ නැත්නම් කියන්න පුතේ. Then here we are calculating the payable tax. Then in here I will show you the way. Calculation of payable tax. As here also I can show you that slide already. That slide available. Yes, this one. Here from the when it's become individual taxation, follow these rates. For first 3 million, tax rate is 6%. For next 3 million, tax rate is 12%. For balance, tax rate is 18%. Earlier, that means 2019 20 case, not 2019-20 actual, 2019-20 little bit confused. 2018-19, the tax rates are totally different. Okay, Another case is here in when it's become capital gain tax. Capital gain tax separately I will discuss. Capital gain tax, it's around 10%. එතකොට individual කෙනෙක්ගේ capital gain profit එකක් තියෙනවා නම් capital gain profit එක මත capital gain එක මත based on the capital gain, the particular individual should pay 10% interest. Okay, hope you got the point. Based on that, a particular individual should pay 10%. එතකොට ඒක මේක උඩින් අඳුර ගන්න. ඒක separately 10% calculate කරලා වෙනම ගන්න ඕනේ payable tax එක. Okay, I think I discussed one sum. මම එක ගානක් හැදුවා. Then in addition to that, business consisting of betting, gaming, on manufacturing or import of liquor, tobacco products. එතකොට business income එක යටතේ මේවා මේ businesses එනවා නම් ඒවට 140ක් වදිනවා. 40% tax. Okay, if your businesses are coming under betting, gaming, and manufacturing or import or any liquor or tobacco products, normally individuals cannot do these things. These are coming under companies. So anyway, if individual is owning this type of business firm, that would be calculating the pay. They should pay taxes under those profits should be pay taxes with the rate of 40%. Okay, in addition to that, retirement benefits are having separate. එතකොට මේ පුද්ගලයෙක්ගේ මේ වගේ income sources තිබ්බොත් එහෙම ඒක මේතනින් අයින් කරලා වෙනම calculate කරන්න ඕන කියන එක තමයි මෙතනදී කියන්නේ. Okay, what if that let's say particular individual is having capital gain, then what you need to do from the main taxable income, you need to deduct that one and separately calculate the tax payments. Then at other things. Okay, that's the one simple thing we need to do. When it's become taxation of retirement benefits of employment income, then first 10 million exempt retirement benefit again. First 10 million, you know that retirement benefit can be 1 billion. So first 10 million is exempt, then second 10 million 6%, then balance 12%. Actually, personally, this is not good thing. Earning taxes on retirement benefits is not a good thing anyway. This is the things available in the act. Okay, now what we need to do, we now we are just scheduling the things. So when it become individual payable tax calculation, what we need to do, first 3 million we should pay tax 6%. Then it would be around 180,000. Then secondary 3 million, tax rate would be 12%. Can take the amount. Then balance, it would be balance 18%. Okay. ඊට පස්සේ ඔය ගාන තමයි අපි ගන්නෙ payable tax. Total payable, no, total, let's say total tax expenditure. Total tax expenditure. If we have any tax credits or something, again අපි කලින් ගෙවපු tax එකත් ගිය අවුරුද්දේ වැඩිපුර ගෙවීමක් තියෙනවා. Tax credits, we can deduct that one. Or otherwise, if we have some payee or something, අපි payee වගේ දෙයක් කරලා තියෙනවා නම්, or otherwise self assessment tax payments. ඒ කියන්නේ ස්වයං අපි ගණනය කරලා නිශ්චිත ගණනය කිරීම වලට එන්න කලින් අපි ස්වයං ගණනය කිරීමක් කරලා මේක එන්න කලින් අපි ගෙවලා තියෙනවා. එහෙම ගණනය කිරීම කරලා ගෙවීම් තියෙනවා නම් ඒවත් අඩු කරාම තමයි අපිට එන්නේ final payable tax එක. ඔයාලා දන්නවා මේව සරල දේවල් ගාන හදනකොට කතා කරමු. Okay, these are the things. In addition to that, let's say this particular person is having capital gain. අපි හිතමු මේ පුද්ගලයාට capital gain එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. In such cases, what we need to do is, on that one, we need to pay capital gain. First of all, we need to pay, we can calculate capital gain. මේක ඇතුලේ එක තියෙනවා. හරි? When we are calculating the capital gain, can identify under investment income, then in total taxable income, capital gain also available. So based on that capital gain, we can calculate 10% tax. Okay, then we can take this amount. Then first 3 million, then we can go for first 3 million, second 3 million from the balance. Balance again තම ඊග 100ට 3 ගන්න. දැන් අපි හිතමුකෝ මිලියන 1. මිලියන 4ක් තියෙනවා කියලා. මිලියන 4 මිලියන 40ක් තියෙනවා කියලා හිතමු. මිලියන 40 මිලියන 10ක් capital gain කියලා හිතමු. එතකොට මිලියන 10ට අපි මුලින්ම 100%ක් tax බලමු. ඒ capital gain එක මත එන tax එක. ඊට පස්සේ ඉතුරු මිලියන 30ට තමයි first 3 million 106යි, second 3 million 112යි එන්න හදන්නේ. Okay, I think you got the point. Yeah, if we are having 40 million total taxable income including capital gain of 10 million, then first of all we need to consider that capital gain, and we need to calculate the payable tax on that 10% simply. Then we have to follow up the our normal way. I think you got the point. Okay, now let's see how to do a sum. Today I am discussing a small sum to remind you the things. මම ඔයාලට මතක් කරන්න තමයි මේක කරන්නේ. Then what you need to do after discussing this sum, you may got all these basic points. Okay, then please go through the sums which I discussed in last sessions. අපි අන්තිමට කතා කරපු ගණන් එතකොට හදන්න. Then you can calculate, go through the how to calculate employment income, how to calculate business income, how to calculate investment income. All these things we have discussed. Download all the things which is available in the LMS, then everything will be fine. Okay, today I am just setting the foundation, then balance part you can do by yourself. Okay. Okay, now today I chose a sum. Hope you can see my screen. Okay, this is can you see my screen? මගේ screen එක පේනවද පුතේ?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. This is 2021 January corporate and personal taxation AAT past date. Okay, in here question number 6 belongs to personal taxation, not the to question number 6, question number 9, I think. Yes, question number 9, sorry. Yeah, question number 9. So first let's have a read, then we can do this one. Then basically it asked to do the calculations according to the 2019-20 act, but let's do it basically for 2021. අපි 20 21කට හදන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් 19 20 හැදුවා, ඔයාලා 19 20ට හැදුවත් ලකුණු දෙනවා exam එකේදී, as I heard. Okay, I don't know exactly, but please try to do it on the updated way. Update විදියට කරමු. ඉවරයිනේ වැඩි update විදියට කරාම it's good for you when you are going to the industry. No one will ask about 1920. They may ask 21 22 actually now. Okay, so anything 20 on 2021 according to the 2021 act. Okay, Gamani is a resident individual who is an attorney at law by profession. He works as the legal officer of a finance company in Sri Lanka. The following information is available regarding his income for the year of assessment 2019-20. So let's assume 2021. Okay, hereafter referred to as the year. Okay, so this is not 2020, 2019-20 in our case. We are assuming that as 2021. Then here, income from employment, gross salary 325,000 per month. Traveling allowance 50,000 per month. Bonus received in April 2019 or 2019. Here we are assuming 2020. From the profit of previous year was 300,000. In May 2020, he was sent to India to represent the company in an international seminar. The cost of the tour, which was reimbursed by the company, was 120,000. He lives in a rented house and monthly rent of rupees 35,000 is reimbursed by the employer. Reimbursed karnalu employer. Then pay deducted for the year was 604,800. Then Gamini started his own business of consultancy on 1st of April 2019. Here we are assuming as 2020. The summary of the income and expenditure has been given. Income and expenditure. Then you can see net profit 2323,000. Then office equipment rupees 400,000. When it's become his business, office equipment of rupees 400,000 has been purchased for the business in January 2020. There are no other qualifying assets on which capital allowance could be claimed. I am not going to explain you what is capital gain. Now you know the concept of capital, not capital gain, capital allowance. All other expenses are allowable for tax purpose. Okay, all these expenses other than these mentioned are allowed for the tax purposes. Then point 3, Gamini lives in a rented house in Colombo. His own house is in Ratnapura and it was rented out to a family for monthly rent of rupees 25,000. Gamini had a fixed deposit in a commercial bank and interest for the year on this deposit was rupees 132,000. The bank has deducted the withholding tax. Okay, I will explain small things related to the withholding tax later on. Gamini purchased shares of a quoted public company on 1st of July 2018. Here we have to assume that as 2019. Cost of rupees 5 million. He sold these shares in May 2019 for 6 million. He has received net dividend rupees 243,000 in April 2019. During the year, Gamini has donated equipment worth rupees 500,000 to Ministry of Health. Gamini has paid 100,000 as installment payments in income tax for the year of assessment 2019-20. Assess following for the Gamini, simply payable tax calculations. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Now can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, these are the things. Hope you can see this PDF. PDF එක පේනවද? Okay. මේක තමයි
Yes, sir.
down පේනවද? Hope you can see. මේකෙන් තමයි අපි අඳුරගන්න පුළුවන් capital gain කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. Okay, you should download even Sinhala or Tamil one from the Inland Revenue Department website. Here I downloaded this from the Inland Revenue Department. Anyway, I will share all these things. Inland Revenue, that capital gain tax, before going to the sum, we need to know whether it's available, the things come under capital gain or not in the our sum. Let's see. The Inland Revenue Act number 24 of 2017, taking effect from April 1, 2018, introduces capital gain tax on gain from realization of investment assets for income for tax purposes. Capital gain tax is treated as investment income and it is charged in section 7(2)(b). Gain from realization of investment assets as calculated under chapter 4. So here we need to identify what are the capital gain, what are the investment assets. Okay, I'm not going to read all these things. So here you can see what are the capital assets. Capital assets in the sense land and building, membership interest in a company or partnership or trust, security or other financial assets, option right or interest assets referred to the foregoing paragraphs. Though all these things you can read. Now let's see. The definition says realization of investment assets. So we need to go through the definition of that. Here, investment assets, according to the section 195, investment assets means capital assets held as part of an investment but excludes in the principal place of residence of an individual, provided it has been owned by the individual continuously for the 3 years before disposal and lived for at least 2 of those 3 years. So those conditions you should keep in your mind. So here the section, according to the section 195, definition for capital asset also available. So definitions related to this is should be in your mind correctly. Then only you can identify from the sum whether that particular case is a capital gain or not. Capital gain එකක්ද නැද්ද කියලා අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒව මේක සම්බන්ධයෙන් කියවිල්ලක් තියෙන්න ඕන කියන එක පෙන්නන්න තමයි මම මෙතෙන්ට ආවේ. Okay, then I will share this. Then now let's move to the sum. අපි දැන් ගානට යමු. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's see. Now first in the sum, if you going through the sum, first we can see the things related to the employment income, then we can see things related to the business income, then at the end we can see things related to the investment income. So first of all, you know that under schedules we have to calculate employment income as well as business income and investment income. So first of all, I am going to calculate employment income. So what we can do, let's put as schedule number 1. ඔයාලා හදාගන්න schedule මුලින්ම ඔයාලගේ main ගාන හදන්න ඉඩ තියාගෙන schedule number 1 කියලා දාගන්නවා. කලින් හැදුවනේ schedule 1 here employment income. Gamini is a resident individual who is attorney at law by profession. Then following information is available regarding his income for the year of assessment 2019-20. This is actually not related to the 19-20. We assume that it's about 2021. Then income from employment. Here you can see gross salary, rupees 325,000. Gross salary, rupees 325,000. Then traveling allowance, rupees 50,000. Bonus received in April 2091. Now let's revise this one as 2020. From the profits of previous year, 300,000. In May 2020, he was sent to India to represent the company in an international seminar. The cost of the tour, which was reimbursed by the company, is 120,000. He lives in a rented house. Can't you see the screen now?
Cancel.
No. Can, sir?
You cannot?
Can, sir?
Then he was sent to India to represent the company in an international seminar. The cost of the tour was reimbursed by the company, was rupees 120,000. He lives in a rented house and monthly rent was rupees 35,000 is reimbursed by the employer. Pay deducted was 604,800. Okay, now let's calculate employment income. Okay, let's first calculate the employment income. Here you have been given the gross salary. Then throughout the year he has received this gross salary. Then under employment income, taxable employment income, you can calculate gross salary belongs to this year. Okay, if you have given the net salary, let's say it's given as like this. The net salary received per month by the Gamini is rupees 300,000 after deducting the EPF of 10%. 110ක් EPF අඩු කරගෙන එයාගේ අතට හම්බුන සුද්ධ මුදල රුපියල් ලක්ෂ 3යි මාසකට කියලා තිබ්බොත් එහෙම මෙතනදී එතන අපි ශුද්ධාගේ දලාගේ බවට පරිවර්තනය කරගන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම වුණොත් එහෙම ලක්ෂ 3 බෙදලා 90ෙන් ගුණ කරන්න ඕනේ 100ෙන්. In that case, what we need to do, we need to take the gross salary. Okay, then 300,000 should be divided by 90 and multiplied by 100 to get the gross salary per month. But in this particular case, nothing to worry. We have directly given the gross salary 325,000. I am doing this without considering last 30. Then 325 into 12 is the gross salary belongs to this particular year. 325 into 12. 3,900. 3,900. Okay, and this one. Okay. Traveling allowance 50,000. You know that when it's become any type of allowance which we received from the employment income and under employer-employee relationship. Okay, here basic things I explained you. There should be employer-employee relationship. Because of the conditions of that employer-employee relationship, we should receive this particular money. Okay, if it is showing a personal view, any allowance which shows us a personal view, that should be considered as a income from that particular source. It is simply a employment income. So traveling allowance he has received, then that one should consider as a part of employment income per month. So let's say traveling allowance. Per month he has received 50,000. Then for year 50 into 12, 600,000. Then bonus, third one, bonus received in April 2021 from the profit of previous year. ගිය අවුරුද්දේ කියන්නේ ගිය අවුරුද්දේ call කරපු bonus එකක් මේ අවුරුද්දේ ලැබිලා තියෙන්නේ. The bonus has called in previous year because that based on the previous year profit, this bonus is given. But actually this particular person, Gamini, received that in this particular year. මේ අවුරුද්දේදී තමයි ආවේ. එතකොට මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? Should we consider this as an income of this particular year or previous? It should belongs to previous year. What is your suggestion? What we have discussed. Anyone? Keep in mind, when it's become a bonus, we should receive that from cash. That receiving year should be considered as a year of assessment belongs to particular income. එතකොට ඒ taxer වර්ෂය තුල මුදලින් ලැබෙන බෝනස් එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක තමයි ගන්න. එතකොට කෝල් කරපු බෝනස් එකක් අපි ආදායමක් විදියට අඳුරගන්නේ නැහැ. In this case we have received, Gamini has received this. Then we have to identify this bonus as a income of this particular year of assessment. How much? 300,000. Then next one, traveling expenses of seminar. Traveling expenses of the seminar he is reimbursed. That means definitely he has received this money. But the thing is, this is a business matter, not a personal matter. So if it is a business matter, we should not consider this as a employment income. So we can say not a part of employment income. Then here no any income. Personal benefit tax වෙන්න personal tax එකට අදාළ වෙන්න නම්. Okay. Please mute your mics. Please mute. Okay, then he lives in a rented house and monthly rent was 35,000. The rent housing benefit, when it become housing benefit, please go through my materials. Okay, I have extracted the things from the act. Act එකෙන් අරගෙන vehicle benefit එක, housing benefit එක ගණනය කරන හැටි. Housing benefit එක furniture එක්කෙනකොට ගණනය කරන හැටි with furniture. How to do if the house from the rented area, if the house not the rated area, if the house from the non-rated area, if the remuneration is less than 40,000 or sorry 200,000 or less than 200,000, how to calculate these things. I have given all those things. I have discussed rent, housing benefit and the vehicle benefit. I discussed. So please refer those. In this particular case, nothing to worry. Just we have received this particular person, Gamini has received the money. Then this one can be identified as the housing benefit. But suddenly, if the Gamini received the house from a rented area as a relation, as a result of this employee-employee relationship, then how can we calculate the housing benefit? Okay, all these things we discussed. Please go through those. Our tables තියෙනවා, ඒ table වල ගණනය කිරීම කරන හැටි තියෙනවා, අපි හදපු ගණන් තියෙනවා, ඒවා refer කරන්න. Okay, in this particular case අපිට දැන් reimburse එකක් ගිහින් තියෙන. එහෙනම් අපිට ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. Housing benefit simply received amount 35 into 12. දැන් මෙතන කිසිම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. නමුත් අතනදී අපිට නිවාසයක් දීලා තියෙනවනම් ඒක වරි පණම් ගෙවන පැත්තකින් එන්න පුළුවන්, වරි පණම් නොගෙවන පැත්තකින් එන්න පුළුවන්, ෆර්නිචර්ස් එක්ක වෙන්න පුළුවන්, ෆර්නිචර්ස් නැතුව වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ගණන් හැදුවා. හරි, මම කිව්වර මම මතක් කරගෙන යන්න කියලා. Then you need to study. නේ රිවිෂන් කිව්වහම මම ඔයාලව මේ පාස් කරවන්න නේද? ඒ ලෙවල් නම් මගේ රිසල්ට් කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. But I am here. I am not a level teacher. I just covering the things because of this current situation of the country. You suffered a lot. Because of that I am covering the things. Okay, ආය කියන්න කියන පුතේ මෙහෙම මම ගණන් කලින් ඔයාලට කියලා දුන්නා ඇක්ට් එකේ තියෙන housing benefit එක ගණනය කරන හැටි අපි ඒකේ උදාහරණ ඕන තරම් කතා කරා. හරි, ඒ ගණන් අරන් බලන්න. මගේ ස්ලයිඩ්ස් වල බලන්න ඔයාලා ඉන්නවනේ Google Classroom එකේ. Google Classroom එකේ ස්ලයිඩ්ස් වල බලන්න employment income යටතේ සයිඩ් එකේ තියෙනවා housing benefit එක ගණනය කරන්නේ කොහොමද? vehicle benefit එක ගණනය කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. housing benefit එක ගත්තොත් එහෙම remuneration එක ලක්ෂ 2කට වඩා වැඩි වුණොත් එහෙම කොහොමද ගණනය කරන්නේ? අපි මේ house එක rated area එකක නම් non rated area එකක නම් කොහොමද housing benefit එක ගණනය කරන්නේ කියන එක දාලා තියෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව වාහනයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් නම් cc ප්‍රමාණය 1500 cc නම් vehicle එකත් එක්ක දුන්නොත් එහෙම driver එක්ක දුන්නොත් එහෙම fuel එක්ක දුන්නොත් එහෙම කියලා table එක දාලා තියෙනවා. ඒවා refer කරන්න. Okay, in that in here මුදලින් ගෙවලා තියෙනවා නම් nothing to worry. ඒ කියන්නේ rent එක අපිට reimburse කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒ reimburse කරපු ගාන. If the particular employer has reimbursed the rent expense of that particular employee, then that particular reimbursed amount we can consider the employment income, and as like here. Okay, then pay deduction was this amount. This is not considering under employment income, but it should consider when we are calculating the taxable income. So we can take the total of these, that is the total employment income. Total employment income. Let's take the total 3,900 plus 600 plus 300. Is that 3,900 plus 600 plus 300 plus 412. 5220. Yeah, I will give you 1 minute. You can just have a read and take this. පුතේ නම්බලින් ඉන්න කට්ටිය අංක දාන registration numbers. Okay. Then employment income part. Okay. Now business income part. We cannot expect this much of simple business income part. Okay. This is really easy. But in your case, you may, especially advanced taxation students, you may receive difficult sum. So what you can do is, please go through my materials, lecture notes. Here we are just reminding the basics. Then according to your dedications, you may got your results. Okay. If you have got all A's or B's, or if you passed, everyone if you passed, it's not depends on me. It's your sacrification. Okay. Pass වුණා මේක මගේ වැඩක් නෙමෙයි ඔයාලගේ වැඩ. ඔයාලා පාස් වෙන එක ඔයාලට අදාළ කාරණාවක් ඔයාලා කොහොම හරි මානසිකව වැඩ කරලා මේක ගොඩ දාගන්න ඕනේ. ගොඩ දාගත්තොත් ඔයාලට ගොඩ දාගත්තේ නැත්තම් ඒත් ඔයාලට මට කිසිම දෙයක් නෑ. ඔයාලා ගොඩ දාගත්තා නැතත් ඒක මට අදාළ නෑ. Okay, anyway, if you need any assistance, as normally I am doing. Gamini started his own business of consultancy in 2019. One let's made as 2020. Business of consultancy on 1st of April 2020. The summary of the income and expenditure accounts prepared for the year ended March 2021 is as follows. Here you can see the net profit 2323. Okay. And this particular point you have mentioned that office equipment rupees 400,000 has been purchased for the business in January 2020, not 2021. There are no other qualifying assets on which capital allowances could be claimed. Capital allowances claim කරන වෙන මොකුත් assets නැහැ කියලා කියනවා. Okay, so all other expenses are allowable on tax purpose. So here what we need to do, normally what we did is, this net profit has calculated according to the accounting policies. Then we need to calculate taxable business profit. We need to calculate taxable business profit. So what we need to do, we need to adjust this. So under schedule 2, let's calculate taxable business profit. Taxable business profit. Here accounting profit. Here what we need to do, we need to do some adjustment. That means we need to add something and we need to deduct something. So here we have given the accounting profit. Accounting profit 2323, and it has mentioned other than the depreciation related to the office equipments. That means other than these depreciation normally I discuss with you, the depreciation is a not allowed expense. Okay, so here what we need to do, we need to add back the not allowed expenses, and we need to deduct the expenses allowed. And if we have not still deducted from the accounting profit, okay, so if we have not recognized any type of income, we according to the tax policies, we need to add back. අපි මෙතන මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕනේ? ගිණුම් කරන ලාභය අපි adjust කරන්න ඕනේ taxable ලාභය බදු ලාභය විදියට. so එතකොට අපි මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕනේ? මේ ගිණුම් කරන ලාභය ගණනය කරනකොට අඩු කරලා තියෙන වියදම් බදු ප්‍රතිපත්තීන් හා සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් බදු ප්‍රතිපත්තීන් එක ගැලපෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒවා ඉඩ නොදෙන වියදම්. එහෙම වුණොත් එහෙම ඒ ඉඩ නොදෙන වියදම් අපි ආපහු එකතු කරන්න ඕන. අපේ බිස්නස් ඉන්කම් අපි ගණනය කරපු ඒ ස්ලයිඩ්ස් ටික අරන් බලන්න වෙන වෙනම අපි කතා කරමු. අපි හදපු ගාන අරන් බලන්න ඔක්කොම වගේ කවර් වෙන්න කතා කරමු. එතකොට එතනින් ඔයාලට ඒ ටික අල්ලගන්න පුළුවන්. You need to recognize what are the allowed expenses, what are the not allowed expenses. Basically this depreciation, accounting depreciation is a not allowed expense. Okay, in Inland Revenue Act they have mentioned particular way of calculating these capital allowances. Capital asset එකට අදාළව depreciation rates එක නෙමෙයි පළදායි ජීවිත කාලය එයාලා consider කරන life එක දීලා තියෙනවා. Based on that life we need to calculate the this depreciation, that is known as capital allowance. අපි ඒකට කියන capital allowances. In my material all the things available, please go through that. So in this particular case all other expenses are allowed. That means salaries, electricity and water, other expenses are allowed other than depreciation. Okay, then income also okay. එතකොට මේකේ ඔක්කොම allowed කියලායි කියන්නේ. Then what we need to do, we can say salaries as here mentioned, that is allowed. ඔයාලා මෙහෙම ලියන්න පුරුදු වෙන්න. හැමතිස්සෙම ඔයාලගේ ගානදී allowed තියෙනවා නම් ලියන්න. එතකොට ඒක එකතු වෙන්නේ අඩු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Electricity, that one also allowed. So no need to add or deduct. Yes, I am uploading the record. Electricity. Then when it's become depreciation not allowed. We know that depreciation not allowed. So when we are calculating this profit of 2323, we have deducted this 126 depreciation. So that is not allowed expense. So we need to add back 126. We need to add. Then if we deducted this depreciation, as we have added this depreciation because of the that is not allowed expense, we can calculate the capital allowance. Capital allowance. අපි capital allowance calculate කරන්න මම මෙතන හදනවා working set working 1 capital allowance. Here only we are having office equipment. අපිට asset එකක් කියලා තියෙන office equipment විතරයි. office equipment විතරයි. පනතේ තියෙනවා table එකක්. මගේ slides වල මම ඒක දාලා තියෙනවා. ඒකේ useful lifetime එක දීලා තියෙනවා. එක එක assets වලට. මට මතක හැටියට ඔය buildings වල 25 years යනවා. අනිත් හැම එකම වගේ 5 years යනවා. ඊට අමතරව intangible assets, related to the intangible assets, I think it's around 5 years. You can go through that table. I am not going to, I can share those things in here. Then it's difficult to me come back to these slides again to do my writings. Then you can prefer all these things. Okay. Then office equipment, related to the office equipment, I have noted that its useful lifetime in the act has mentioned as 5 years. 5 years කියලා තමයි act එක තියෙන්නේ. Now the value of this office equipment is 400,000. Then 400,000 divided by 5. Then per year rate is coming 400,000 divided by 5, 8. But this particular case, you may feel that this asset has purchased in January 2021. January 2021. Then only 3 years, 3 months, that assets available in our business, but a business of Garmin. But here the thing is, when in taxation, we should consider the whole year of purchasing belongs to that particular asset in case of capital allowance calculation. Then when we are disposing or when we are selling that particular asset, we should not consider the asset selling year in case of capital allowance calculation. So this 80 we need to consider as a whole. අපි මේනවා මිලදී ගත්ත අවුරුද්ද අපි consider කරනවා, විකුණන අවුරුද්ද consider කරන්නේ නැහැ capital allowance ගණනය කිරීමේදී පද්දට යටත්. Then we can deduct this 80. Then other expenses also have to consider as allowed expenses as mentioned. Then what we can do, take the total of this plus column. For me, 2323 plus 126, 2449. Here only 80 available. Then we can deduct this 80. Take the, here I am getting taxable business profit. මම යට ඉඩ නැති නිසා මම මෙතෙන්ට ගත්තේ. Then taxable business profit may be 2449 minus 80, 2369. 2369. Take this. Okay. Now the investment income. Gamini lives in a rented house in Colombo. His own house is in Ratnapura, and it was rented out to a family for a monthly rent of 25,000. Okay. So in previous years cases, yes, in here also we can see a withholding tax case in fixed deposit interest. You may have heard some withholding tax payments relating to the rent income or something, as well as when it's become interest income. කුලී ආදායම් ඊට පස්සේ පොලී ආදායම් මත withholding tax payments කරණය උපයන විත ගෙවීමේ බදු එහෙම නැත්නම් රඳවා ගැනීමේ බදු ගෙවන ඒවා අහලා ඇති. But keep in mind මේකානත් අපි 2019 20නේ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මේක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා විනා මේ පොලී ආදායමේ මේක 2020 21 අවුරුද්දේ ඉඳන් ඔය fixed deposit වලටයි rent income වලට උපයන කිවිට ගෙවීමේ බදු එතකොට අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔව්. ජනවාරි 1 2020 ජනවාරි 1 දින සිට ලාභාංශ මත රඳවා ගැනීම බදු හෝ කුලී මත රඳව උපයා ගැනීම බදු හෝ රඳවා ගැනීම බදු නොමැත. Okay. No any withholding taxes. Okay. If we are having the way I will show, but keep in mind these types of things will not be available in your sums. But I don't know, but the paper was set in already set up. Sometimes those may be available. If available, you should adopt this method. Okay. Then here the investment income, under investment income, point 3 related to the rent income. So simply we can calculate the rent income per year, per month 25, then 25 into 12. So here you can take 300,000. Okay. Then as this particular person is having rent income, under qualifying payments, we can deduct 25% of this. ඒක යට අඩු කරන්න නිසා ඒක ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න. අපි ඒක අඩු කරනකොට අඩු කරමු. Okay. දැන් මෙතන ගැටලුවක් නෑ. Then Gamini has had a fixed deposit in a commercial bank and interest for the year of deposit is 132. Bank has deducted the withholding tax. Withholding tax adu karagena thiye. Okay. Anyway, let's do this adjustment, but now you cannot see these types of adjustment in new sums. Okay. So here interest income directly we have given 132,000. Then Gamini purchased shares of Kotak Public Company on 1st of July 2019 for cost of 5 million. 2019 අරන් තියෙන. Then 2021 වල ඔක purchase කරා නම් එහෙම මේ අවුරුද්දේ purchase කරා නම් එහෙම ඒක අර tax relief ගොඩේ දාන්න පුළුවන්. But here we cannot put this because this is a purchase previous year. Okay. For cost of rupees 5 million, he sold these shares in 2020 May. මේ අවුරුද්දේ විකුණලා තියෙනවා for 6 million. He has received a net dividend of 243. 2,43,000ක dividend එකකුත් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා net dividend. සුද්ධ dividend. සුද්ධ ලාභාංශ. Okay. සුද්ධ ලාභාංශ. Net dividend in the sense here this particular case if I am correct, in this year 2019-20, withholding tax rate is 14%. Yes, 14% related to the dividend. Dividends වලට ලාභාංශ වලට ආපු rate එක 114යි. මේ අවුරුද්ද net කියලා තියෙන නිසායි මම ඔය කියන්නේ. සුද්දාගේ කියලා කියන්නේ අපි tax එක ගෙවලා අඩු කරාට පස්සේ ආපු වගේන 2,43,000. එතකොට ඔය අවුරුද්ද 19 20 මේ අවුරුද්ද ඒ අවුරුද්ද තිබ්බ tax withholding tax rate එක තමයි 114. In your case also, if you have mentioned this as a net present, net dividend value, it's okay, use this 14% as a withholding tax rate. Okay, in next session I will let you know what is the updated one. Okay, I think it is 14 anyway. Let's see. But now the thing is, yes, this is okay, this is dividend income, but here dividend income, net dividend income has given. Net dividend income has given. That means after deducting the withholding taxes, after deducting withholding taxes of 14%, we have been given 243. That means to calculate the gross one, our actual dividend income, what we need to do, 243 divided by, if the withholding tax rate is 14%, should divide by 86 and multiplied by 100. Oh, දශම වෙනවනේ. අවුලන්නේ යටින් කොහොමවත් මේක අඩු වෙනවනේ. එතකොට ගැටලුවක්. 283.558. Okay, ඒක අවුලක් නෑ. අපි මේ payments කරන ඒවා අයින් කරනවානේ. එතකොට ගැටලුවක් නෑ. Then මෙතන තියෙනවනේ තව selling of shares. Selling the shares. Under in case of here, this particular case, sales value you can see 6 million, and the cost, එයා කීයට ගත්තවද මේ 6 million දෙන්නේ? Cost of these 5 million. Then the profits would be 1 million. Okay, but in this case, the profit which earned through selling the shares are free from taxes. Make a badden nidahas, not considering as an investment income. Now, when it's become rent income, we didn't pay anything. We didn't pay any withholding tax. Api rent ekedi withholding tax mokuth gewwe naha. But when it's become interest income, we paid the withholding tax. Bank has deducted the withholding tax. Okay, but when it's become dividend income also, we have paid the withholding tax. එතකොට කිසියම් අවස්ථාවකදී withholding tax එකයි මම මේ rate එක ගැන වැඩි වලට consider කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ කිව්වේ. දැන් මෙතනත් නැත්තම් අපි convert කරලා ගන්න ඕනේ. මම නිකන් මේ පෙන්නුවේ. කිසියම් අවස්ථාවක withholding tax ගෙව්වා කියලා කිව්වොත් එහෙම මේක ආයේ බදු ගෙවන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද ඒ උපයනකොටම ඒ බද්ද ගෙවලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, no need to pay again the income taxes. Okay, we have paid the particular certain taxes on that while we are earning. In the earning point we have paid. අපි උපයනකොට ඒ අවස්ථාවේදී ඒකට ගෙවලා තියෙන්නේ. So here let's take the total first. The total, I think 1714558. From this we can deduct. මම මේ පැත්තෙන් යනවා. මම මේක මෙතෙන්ට ගන්නවා 1714558. From this we can deduct අපි මෙතනින් අඩු කරනවා නිදහස් වීම සහ අවසාන බදු ගෙවූ sources. Tax free or WHT withholding tax paid sources. Then here rent income, in case of rent income, we didn't pay any taxes, so we cannot deduct. In interest income, we deducted. So then interest income. Then we need to deduct. Not 300,000. It's around 1, 3, 2. We need to deduct this. Then when it's become dividend income, we paid this 14%. That's why net dividend කියලා කියන්නේ අපි බදු ගෙවලා ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන සුද්ධ අගය අපිට දීලා තියෙන. Then we can deduct that one. Dividend income. Dividend income 243. Then selling the shares always tax free one. මං කිව්වා tax share විකුණන එක. එවන profit එක දැන් මේ අපි අඳුනාගත්ත රුපියල් මිලියනය tax free. ඒක බද්දෙන් නිදහස්. එතකොට මේවට බදු ගෙව්වා withholding tax මේක බද්දෙන් නිදහස්. එතකොට ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ මේ 300 විතරයි මේ ත්‍රිකෝණම අඩු වෙනවනේ. නේ? මෙතන dividend income එක 2.83.58. එතකොට මේකෙන් එක අඩු වුණාම ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ මේ 300 විතර. Only yeah, and that is taxable investment income. Taxable investment income. Okay. Take this, then this donation one we need to consider at the end. Then 100,000 installment payment also self-assessment. ස්වතක්සේරු ගෙවි. සහ පරිත්‍යාග තියෙන අපි ඒක අවසානයේ කතා කරන්න ඕනේ. This is the schedule for investment income. Take this. Okay, now we have to consider these donations and self-assessment payments. And at the beginning, we had something, yes, rented allowance and something, rent income allowance. So Based on that, now we can calculate taxable income and gross income tax payable and balance tax payable. So let's calculate Mr. Gamini's income tax payable for the year of assessment 2021. We have identified the employment income.
excuse me sir.
Yes.
sir අතන dividends වල ඇයි sir එතන gross amount එකක් ගත්තේ?
මෙතන මම ඒක පැහැදිලි කරාවුද මෙතනත් අපිට ඕන නම් ගත්ත හැකි මම මෙතන මේ මෙතන ගත්තත් නැත දැන් ඔයාලට තේරෙනවනේ මෙතන ගත්ත එක අපි අඩු කරානේ මම මෙතන මෙහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා පෙන්නන්න තමයි gross එක ගත්තේ දැන් net කියලා දීලා තියෙන නිසා දැන් මෙතනත් අපිට පුළුවන් ඕනනම් මෙතන 110යි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් යන්නේ 110 අරන් ගන්න පුළුවන් fix එක දැන් මේ දෙකේම දැන් ඔයාලා හදන ගානේදී මේ දෙකම එන්නේ නැහැ dividends වලවත් withholding taxes එන්නේ නැහැ ඔයාලට සුද්දාගේ තමයි එන්නේ එහෙම අපි withholding tax එකක් ගෙවුවොත් එහෙම ඒ අවස්ථාවේදී ඒවා අපි ආය බදු ගෙවීමක් සිද්ධ කරන්නේ නැහනේ ඒවා අඩු කරලා දානවා මේ අපි දැන් මෙතන මේ ගාන දැම්මත් නැතත් දැන් මෙතන ඔයා 243000 ගත්තා කියලා හිතන්නකො 243000 මෙතන දැම්මනම් අපි ඒක මෙතනින් අඩු කරනවා ඇයි අපි මේ වෙනුවෙන් බදු ගෙවලා ඉවරයි මේ වෙනකොට එක මූලාශ්‍රයක් වෙනුවෙන් දෙපාරක් බදු ගෙවීමක් සිද්ධ කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අපි මේක අඩු කරනවා. මම පෙන්නුවේ සුද්දාගේ ගන්නෙ මෙහෙමයි කියන එකයි පෙන්නුවේ. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එහෙම ගන්න වුණොත් ඔයාලට withholding tax rate එක මට highlight කරන්න ඕන නිසා තමයි මම එතන අඩු කරලා පෙන්නුවේ. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් යන්නේ 114. ඒ 19 20 අවුරුද්දේ ගියපු rate එක. දැන් මට මතක හැටියට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මම දැන් ඔයාලට කරන්න කලින් මම ෆැක්ට් එක බලලා දාගත්තා 2020 ජනවාරි 1 වෙනිදා ඉඳන් ලාභාංශ මත රඳවා ගැනීමේ බද්දක් නැහැ. ලාභාංශ මත රඳවා ගැනීමේ බද්දක් එන්නේ නැහැ 2021 එකෙන්. නමුත් මේ ගාන 19 20 ගානනේ. එතකොට ඒ හේතුව නිසා තමයි ඔය ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලගේ ගානේදී ඔහොම කතාවක් එන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට මෙතන යටින් අඩු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. ඒත් එක්කම කුලී ආදායම සම්බන්ධයෙන් 2021 දින සිට බදු ගෙවීමක් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට ඒකත් එන්නේ නැහැ. මම ඉන්ට්‍රෙස්ට් එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් withholding tax එක පොඩ්ඩක් කන්ෆර්ම් කරලා කියන්න. මගේ මතක හැටියට එන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකේ සමහර විට withholding tax තියෙන පුළුවන්. මම දැන් එන්න කලින් මම සටහන් කරගෙන තියෙන කුලී ආදායම අර්ධක විතරයි පනත බලලා. මම පොඩ්ඩක් බලලා මැසේජ් එකක් දාන්න. මෙතන තිබුණේ ඒක වැඩි කන්සිඩර් කරන්න එපා. මම ගත්තේ මේක net dividend එක කියලා තියෙන නිසා ඔයාලට අරගන්න හැටිත් පෙන්වන්න තමයි මම මේ ගත්තේ. හොඳේ. ඒක වැඩි කන්සිඩර් කරන්න එපා. අවුලක් නැහැ නේද?
හරි sir.
හරි. එතකොට එතන ගන්නවනම් දැන් මෙතන තර්ක දෙකක් තියෙන මෙතන ගත්තා මෙතන ගත්තේ නැහැ කියන එක ඕනනම් මෙතනත් ඒක අඩු කරලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොම හරි මේක 243000 දාලා මෙතනින් අඩු කරලා පෙන්නුවත් හරි. කොහොම හරි මෙතන වෙන්න ඕන. එහෙම නැත්නම් මොකුත්ම දාන්න නැතුව තියලා එක ගත්තත් හරි. ඒ උඩ එකතු කරලා අඩු කරලා ගන්න. අපි පෙන්වන්න ඕන නිසානේ. මෙතන මොකුත්ම පෙන්වන්න නැතුව ගත්තත් මේ උත්තරේ එනවා. නමුත් අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ටැක්ස් වලදී පෙන්වනවා හැම දෙයක්ම පෙන්වන්න ඕන. මේක මෙතනින් නිදහස් වෙනවා. මේ ආදායම මම උත්පාදනය කරා. ඒක මෙතනින් බදු ගෙවීමක් තිබ්බ නිසා යටින් නිදහස් වීම ලබා ගත්තා. Then එක schedule එකෙන් we have calculated employment income under schedule 1. Our employment income of Mr. Gamini was I think 525. Then business income. Business income we calculated under schedule 2. 2369 is that Yes, 2369. Then investment income. This investment income we just had 300. Then we can take the total. Total is total assessable income. තක්සේරු කළ හැකි ආදායම. $5220. 7889. And from this we can deduct qualifying payments and tax reliefs. Basically, personal tax free amount, personal නැත්නම් තනි පුද්ගලයන් සඳහා පුද්ගල බදු සහනය 3 million. Then as I explained, we can come up with 25% of rent income. Our rent income was 300. Then 300 into 25, 75. Make a mehem. Then expenditure reliefs. අපේ ගානේ දැන් බලන්න ඕනේ අපි අර කතා කරපු වියදම් මොනවද අධ්‍යාපනයේ සම්බන්ධ දරපු වියදම් මෙඩිකල් සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් වලට පේමන්ට්ස් කරපුවා එහෙම නැත්නම් ණය වාරික ගෙවපුවා එහෙම නැත්නම් කොටස් මිලදී ගැනීම මේකේ කොටස් මිලදී ගැනීමක් තියෙනවා නමුත් ගිය අවුරුද්ද එතකොට ඒක කන්සිඩර් කරන්න බෑ මේකෙදි එතකොට tax reliefs expenditure reliefs අහුන්නේ මගේ මතකයේ හැටියට එතකොට කීයක්වත් අඩු වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඊට අමතරව මෙතනදී මට කලින් අර අපේ ෆෝමැට් එක හදනකොට අමතක වුණා other than this we can deduct the donations when it's become donations puta what is the condition if it is related to the government if Kamini has done the donations to government yes this is totally done for the government then 100%. Okay. Then here in the year we can see during the year Gamini has donated equipment worth 500,000 to Ministry of Health. That means simply government එකට නම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ 100%ක් අඩු කරන්න ඊට දෙනවා. එහෙනම් මෙතන 100 500 අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්. But if not, if it is for approved charity, private sector approved charity, then maximum will be limited to you can go through our sums which we discussed maximum will be limited to මට මතක හැටියට ඔය රෙකෝඩින් එකේ පොඩි අවුලක් තිබ්බද නැත්නම් නමුත් බලන්න චෙක් කරලා ගන්න හදනකොට maximum should be limited to 3/1 portion yes 3/1 portion of our taxable income or 75,000 අපේ බද්දට යටත් ආදායමෙන් තුනෙන් එකක් හෝ 75000 කියන දෙකෙන් ඒ කියන්නේ බදු අය කර හැකි ආදායමෙන් තුනෙන් එක අරගෙන උපරිම ලිමිට් එක එනවා 75000. ඒතකොට උපරිම යන්න පුළුවන් 75000 if it is a approved charity. Okay, let's do a practice question while I am discussing. I will put that type of question too. Okay. දැනට මතක තියාගන්න. අපි මං හිතන්නේ එහෙම ගානක් හැදුවා. Just go through those. Okay. That's all. Then we can deduct these from our assessable income. Then we can take our taxable income. Our taxable income $4,317. 4,317. Then we can calculate gross income tax payable. Gross income tax payable. First, here, as I am doing without considering last 3 zeros. So first 3 million, 6% means 180. Then our 3 million and the band. Yes. Then balance I 3 million and the band. So balance we can calculate 12. Then 1317 into 12%. 1317 into 12%. 158. Then gross income tax. $3,380. This is gross income tax. Then from this, yes. Okay. Then from this, that means from gross income tax, we need to deduct tax credits. Under tax credits, we have done in employment income, if you remind. Here we have paid, pay deducted. අපි pay එතකොට මේ employment income එක උපයනකොට මේ උපයන විට බෙදී මේ pay tax එක ගෙවලා තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් ඒක අපිට අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන් 6,04,800. Pay 604.8. Then in addition to that, Gamini has paid 100,000 as payments of income tax. That means self-assessment tax payment. 100,000. ඒ කියන්නේ එයා සුවතක්සේරු කරලා මේක ගණනය කරන්න කලින් ගෙවලා තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් ඒකත් අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්. Self assessment tax payment 100,000. Self-assessment tax payments 100,000. Then answer. අපි වැඩිපුර බද්දක් ගෙවලා තියෙන. ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට ඔය 19 20 ගණන් 20 21ට හදන්න යනකොට වැඩිපුර ගෙවූ බද්දක් තමයි එන්නේ. මොකද මේ tax rules වෙනස් වුණ නිසා. 3 million උනානේ free rate එක ඒ නිසා. Excess payments of tax. කියන්නේ ඊගාව මාසෙන් මේක කවර් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. කීයක් එනවා? ඉන්න ගානක් නෙන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය වලේ ගානේ හැම එකක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න බෑ. අර tax rules වෙනස් වීමත් එක්ක ඔය වගේ කලින් ගණන් අපි අලුත් විදියට හදනකොට අනිවාර්යෙන් බොහෝ අවස්ථාවලදී ඍණ ගණන් තමයි එන්නේ.